Hi everyone. I'm Dave, CEO of City Robotics. So let's address the elephant in the room: infections. Infections, I'm not talking about right now, I'm talking about the whole human history right now. So, infection is the biggest enemy of humanity. 107 billion humans have walked on this planet, and out of that, 85.6 roughly, that's roughly 80% of them have died due to infections from various sources. The core of medical science is disinfection. So let's take the example of surgery. No matter how well an operation goes, without disinfection, you're as good as a dead person. Infection is such a big problem that you might go to a hospital with a sore throat and come back with a sore throat and flu. How did you acquire it? You acquired it from the chair where somebody was sitting yesterday and had the flu and sneezed. There is a particular term for just what happened: hospital-acquired infection. It's such a common thing that roughly 8.9 million people get infected in just EU alone. And out of that, 100,000 deaths are every year. And that's a terrible thing. And this itself costs EU 5.5 billion euros trying to control it. And the solutions that we have right now that EU is using to stop it, these solutions are very, very inefficient. So, how do you solve such a global big problem? The answer is simple: make your environment safe by disinfecting your surroundings routinely and adequately. So, why don't we do it? Firstly, we're terrible at doing repetitive and mundane works. We do not do it properly after a few times. Secondly, we lack a proper way of doing it. Right now, the current solutions is to disinfect our surroundings by spraying alcohol-based solutions, and that's not a very efficient way. Like after an operation in an operation theater, they need to disinfect the place, and it takes roughly around 2 to 4 hours for that solution to stay on the surface. So that's a waste of resources of the operation theater and the waste of resources of the surgeons, and those are the one of the most important resources of a hospital or of a country, you can say. So how do you do it? You automate that process by using UVC lights and robots. Here is RoboUV, which is a robot, and there are UV lights mounted on top of it. So it can navigate autonomously around the whole place. It can have fixed waypoints, or it can have even fixed timings. Like, let's say you have an outpatient clinic. At 11 p.m., the whole thing closes. So exactly at 11 p.m. every single day, it can go around the whole place disinfecting it very, very fast. If an operation theater, you have an operation, you go out, you press a button, it comes, disinfects the whole place in like 10 minutes. And after that, you're good to go for another operation. So what's our target market? Our biggest target market before the COVID was hospitals and outpatient clinics. But after the COVID happened, the whole world changed. And after post-COVID, we see one of the biggest interest clients are hotels, schools, universities, offices. And so do we have competitors? Of course, we have competitors. Everybody got competitors everywhere. Or one of the biggest non-indirect competitors are alcohol-based solutions. Ozone, which is a very inefficient way of disinfecting places, and it's just not feasible. Our biggest competitors, direct competitors, are robotics companies doing the same thing, but they're from Denmark, Turkey, or India. But their biggest problem is the price point. They do things very efficiently, but they are 60,000 euros each robot, and that's not how the world should look like. We're trying to save human lives here. It shouldn't be something which can be afforded by only a king. So that's where we come. We are not exactly very efficient as them. We have a robot which does its job at a very, very affordable price range. What's our revenue model? We sell the robots directly, 50,000 each, and we're trying to implement something new to the market: robot as a service. So you pay us a subscription fee, you have the robot, any upgrades that are there will be delivered to you whenever we have an upgrade, reseller networks, and this is what we have been working on since July. In August, we won the Most Innovative Award for Smart Cities, and we presented the robot to the Polish Prime Minister. In September, we have a fully functional prototype ready, and we're raising the pre-seed round, complete the prototype. We have 2 clients waiting, and we're going to run the pilot with them, launch the fully manufactured product in Q1 of 2021. This is our team. I'm the CEO. We have software engineer, electrical engineer. Thank you very much.
We are already in the Q&A session because we ran out of time, but it's all right. Are there any questions from our judges?
Yeah, I can kick it off this time.
All right, super.
So one question about the prototype that you've designed and developed so far. How effective has it been in trials, if it's been trialed, is one. And the second question is the 2 pilots that you have in the pipeline. How were you able to acquire those pilots? And are they hospitals, schools? What's going to be your first pilot?
The first pilot, because it requires a lot of certification. So the first, if you target hospitals and outpatient clinics, it requires a hell lot of certifications. So the easiest one without those certifications are the biggest interest we got are from healthcare. Not the healthcare, the hospitality, so hotels and schools. And we acquired them through our reseller network. We are in touch with, we're developing those reseller networks, and we have those clients through them.
Great. And just a second question, based on your prototype and some of the work that you've done so far, how effective percentage-wise is your
product? So UVC is not a new technology. We have been using it for almost half a century. We know it works. Those lamps are manufactured by Philips, so they certified that. But it depends on the algorithm of the robot as well. And we are certifying that with the help of University of Łódź. And from the preliminary test that we did, it's very effective for a 60-meter square room. That's roughly the size of an operation theater. It is in fact the whole place in like 10 minutes.
Any other questions? Okay, yeah, sure, please.
Yeah, my question is related exactly to what you said right now. So how smart is this robot? How it's able to recognize what are the surfaces to be disinfected, and how does it work exactly? It has to be pre-programmed. It does the discovery by itself.
No, it doesn't target places to disinfect. So there are 6 lamps, and the lights are 360 degrees. So when it moves around, everything that the light touches, everything is disinfected, including air, surfaces like walls or roofs, everything.